Everybody, this is Hondo Carpenter, your Las Vegas Raiders beat writer on SI and the host of the Las Vegas Raiders Insider Podcast. And today is training camp report number 6, and we're going to talk about 3 bold observations that I've brought from training camp. And let me tell you, there are several things that stood out, but in today's podcast, we're only going to discuss 3 of them. But it's a big deal. Number one, the thing that has stood out to me the absolute most is the veterans. And I'm going to give you some names and I'm going to give you some examples and what I mean by standing out. Uh, Got to start. I mean, you just have to start with Devin White. This is a guy that early in his career played a lot of high level football, then has struggled the last couple of seasons. Injury, personal issue with the death of his father. He is absolutely back. And yesterday, when Pete Carroll said it, and we've got the video, you can go watch it, he's back. He is playing at an unbelievable level. He had an interception of Geno Smith way down the field yesterday, showing speed, versatility. As of right now, he is clearly a starter on this team and playing at a very high level. I was talking to a very good friend of mine early this morning who told me he was just skeptical of Devin. And when I, shared with him about what he's looked like and literally what he has done, he goes, man, that's an encourager. This guy has brought it strong. The effort, everything that you saw from young Devin is what you're seeing now. And you can't dismiss injury. You can't dismiss the loss of a father. Those are legitimate things that impact all of us. But these veterans, I talked with you before camp about, where the Raiders looked in free agency and said, man, everybody there is high priced or not worth the cost. And where they couldn't fill holes in the draft, they went and got these type of plug and play veterans. But in everybody I'm going to talk to you about today who's playing well, they didn't overpay one of them. They're on very team friendly deals so that if the player plays well, the Raiders have hit a home run. And if they don't and get rid of them, it's no skin off their back. They just go and repeat the process of is there a better candidate to fill their spot next year, either through free agency or the draft. And Devin absolutely looks the part. He has been exceptional every single day, standing out. The next guy is Geno. First of all, you may say, well, Geno got a big deal. He did, but it was a very friendly team deal. Listen, he got a lot of deal for a lot of money. But anyone trying to convince you that the Raiders did not get a good deal, every single team I have talked to around the NFL, and I talked to a lot of them, has told me, man, the Raiders got a great deal on him, a great deal. I think he could have got considerable more money to stay in Seattle. And Geno has absolutely looked the part. Every day, 1 or 2 bad passes, which every quarterback has 1 or 2 bad passes, the elite ones. And I don't think that he's a top 5 quarterback in this league, not even pretending that. But he is 10 to 15 in that range, which is what all the Raiders needed. And that's still a great range, one of the top 15, 10 to 15 best in the world. And he has looked outstanding. I have been impressed with him. His ball, the spin, the accuracy, all that been great. I have been even more impressed. And by the way, and it's not close. And every time I say this, this isn't a slam on Derek. Derek's no longer here, people. Some of you got to get over that. But the point is, he has looked the best of any quarterback I have seen with the Raiders in my 6 seasons. Is he the best quarterback I've ever seen? No. Is he one of the best? Yes. But he has looked outstanding. But where I have been even more impressed with him is I have watched him go over and coach defensive backs. I've watched him talk to linemen, linebackers, young players, old players. He is a steady hand of leadership. This team does not need another Max Crosby. They have one, and there's only one. This is Max's team. But what they did need was that unequivocal leader who everyone stopped, everyone listened to. He has everyone's respect, everyone's. And he has been outstanding as well. The third guy I want to talk to is Elandon Roberts. I knew Elandon was a good linebacker. You can go back and look at the day they signed him. I said that. I did not realize how big of a football IQ he has. I didn't think he was dumb at all. I'm not even implying that. But he knows this defense backwards and forwards and in between. And there's a lot of new wrinkles. You guys are going to see a lot of new wrinkles this year. A lot. I have been shocked watching him coaching and getting everybody in the right positions. To come into this, all the veterans already knew Patrick Graham's system. So then Patrick has added a lot of new wrinkles this year. So they're learning the new wrinkles, but they know the system. Elandon is learning the system and the new wrinkles, and he's still out there coaching people. Phenomenal. He has had a great camp, and he is the guy. He's the guy. All right, next, Eric Stokes. Stokes has been running with the ones, and remember now, his rookie year in Green Bay, he was an all-pro caliber player. Then he injured, and it just took him time to recover. So eventually, the Green Bay moves on, brings in Nate, and because Nate was playing at a level they wanted, and this guy has performed at a very high level. Again, he has looked the part. And again, I mentioned before, I said this before camp. When you look at what Spytek did, where he couldn't get draft picks or long-term free agents, and he picked these guys that it works or doesn't. But either way, the team doesn't have a loss. I mean, if these guys continue to play the way they are, it sets up Spytek for GM of the year, even if they don't play that well, because he didn't hurt the team. But if they do, I mean, if Eric Stokes plays the rest of the season the way he's played this first week at camp, Katie bar the door. Okay, Jamal Adams, healthy, and switches him to linebacker. Pete Carroll switches him to linebacker, and he's out there playing at an incredibly high level. An incredibly high level. There's another one, Jamal Adams. And then finally, Ian Thomas. I'm telling you guys, Brock and Mayer, they were the number one tight ends in the 23 and 24 draft. They should get the attention. I'm not saying they shouldn't. Mayer should have been a first-round pick. Raiders stole him in the second. Brock was picked where he was picked and should have been picked a lot higher. So I understand why they get the praise, and they should. But Ian Thomas is being overlooked just because of who's ahead of him. Ian Thomas has had a great camp. He's making this team. I said the Raiders would probably carry 3 tight ends, and I predicted Ian before the season, before training camp. Now I'm hearing they may keep 4. Carter Runyon, Kadir Ismail, both playing well. I think Kadir's a leader in that battle, but still it's close. They may keep 4. I know that is very hard to believe. And I'm not saying they're going to, but they might. And I told you, there is discussion internally about it. And Ian Thomas has just played phenomenal. In fact, I don't know of one play that he had a bad play in, and I've watched him a lot. Great, great camp from him. So 3 bold statements. Number 1 is the veterans. Number 2, rookies. Ashton Jeanty is everything we thought and more. I thought because of the level of competition he played against and some other things, I knew he was an okay pass receiver. He has looked phenomenal. I think old Freddie Biletnikoff threw him some of that stick-em. He had a catch the other day where he literally is going kind of a wheel route and puts his hand up, and the ball hit it. and just do you remember when Julius Erving would take the ball and then he would be standing in the post, or you'd see Kareem in the post and they would just have the ball palmed? Ashton Jenkins just, he reminded me a lot of Chris Carter. I know I'm showing my age there, but uh, phenomenal. Ashton's looked great. Next, Dante Thornton. I told you all before camp that with all of his physical abilities, and I thought they have a very good coaching staff at Tennessee, that he must have just been an underperformer because there was no way for him to get to where he's at. I'm telling you right now, if I'm a Tennessee fan and I'm watching how that guy's practicing in camp, I'm asking my staff, what's wrong with you? This guy's looked every bit as good as Ted McMillan, who everybody, myself included, thought was the best wide receiver in the draft. Dante Thornton has been a machine, a Pac-Man gobbling yards. He's been unbelievable, literally. Darian Porter, he's a guy expected to be a very good player. I expect to have a long career here. I knew there were going to be some things he was going to have to work on. It's why I didn't project him as a starter, and I still don't. But he's even been better than I thought. He's even been better than I thought. And it's been very impressive. I've been very impressed with his footwork. He needed some work with his fundamentals. And it wasn't that he's bad or dumb. I just think he needed NFL coaching. And I am very impressed with how he's played. His not being with the starters right now is not because of his talent or skill or work ethic. It's because of how people are playing ahead of him. But I've been very, very impressed. Another one, and Jack Bash. He's putting together some really good practices. He had a block the other day in practice that I've told you all along he was the best blocker in the draft as well, as one of the top receivers, first round grade receiver, and a absolute best blocker, bar none, phenomenal blocker. He had a block the other day where he just somehow, I don't even know how he did it. He sold what he was doing and then cut in, and I mean, it was a work of art. And that young man has played exceptionally, exceptionally well. Next guy I want to talk about is Caleb Rogers. Again, I think he'll compete for a starting job in 26. I don't think he'll compete this year. Injuries could get him in there, but I mean, legitimately compete with a full roster. I don't think he can this year. But I was super excited about him coming out of college. OTAs and minicamp, he was adjusting to the NFL, but since the training camp has started, he has looked like that guy. He's looked like that guy. Really like Caleb Rogers a lot, and very impressed with the camp he's having. Third bold prediction is youth is served. Youth is served in Raider Nation. Let's start right at the top. DeCamerion Richardson. A great camp, running with the ones. This sophomore, DeCamerion Richardson, is everything we thought that he could be. I thought he had a very good rookie year the way it ended. Just the way that he picked it up in the second half. And he has taken that to a new level. You can just tell he has responded to the coaching, the teaching, and DCAM has had a great camp. Another one, Zamir White. Best running back in the NFL the second half of 23. 24, he was Getsied. That's a new term I'm going to invent. Getsied. And my opinion, Getsied. And then he was injured. But Zamir has looked really, really good. He had a run the other day, and I thought it was Ashton. And I wrote it down, and somebody next to me goes, "Man, look, Zamir looked good there." And I go, "Was that Zamir?" And he goes, "Yeah." And I go, I just assumed it was Ashton. And I'm like, "Woof." But Zamir's and Sincere McCormick, same thing, has looked tremendous. Tremendous. Those two young guys are making statements, and they're going to be significant in this Raiders season. The next guy I want to talk about was Jonah Lalu. Man, first of all, I just really like that kid. There's nothing about Jonah Lalu not to like. Like that kid a lot. But his hand placement, when he got to the league, he was very raw. And you may remember, just like I preached about IPM, I said, listen, this guy's going to find a way to stick around, but you can see it. Last year with Jonah, I told you the same thing. You could see it. You could see he had some it, but he wasn't ready. And then I remember him, and Adam Butler were joking in the locker room one time. And y'all know, I mean, I love Adam, and I was joking with him, and we were all talking. And he gets done, and Adam says to me, he's not going to be a good player, Hondo. He's going to be exceptional. He goes, he's going to be really, really good. And I credit Adam Butler for telling me that. But Jonah Lalu, this camp, wow. He has been a force with Adam Butler. You know, you got Max, Adam, Lalu, and then you got Malcolm has looked great, Snowden, his twitch, and I was going to talk about him next. Snowden, playing better than he's ever played right now. He is starting to look like a young guy that belongs and could potentially become something special. His quick twitch, and he's a great kid, but his quick twitch is phenomenal. He gets off the ball, not as quick as Max, but he is the second fastest get off the ball guy. He is fast now. Wham, he's gone. And then the last guy I want to talk about is Alex Bachman. This young kid just, you think, all right, he's going to head to the practice squad, whatever. No, I think the kid's going to, if I had to pick today, and listen, we got 4 weeks of camp left. Let's not pretend like this is over now. But I'm going to tell you something now. I'm going to hear me out here. Hear me out. That guy, he's got a little something, something. I like Alex Bachman. Just keep making plays, young blood. People see you. People see you. But there's my three really bold statements from camp of what's really just hit me in the face. And then if I'm going to add an intangible or an extra point or however you want to look at it, coaching. I am incredibly impressed with how Pete Carroll coaches. He is letting Chip and Patrick go into the lab, experiment, play around, compete with each other. These coaches are competing against each other and with reckless abandon. Reckless abandon. And it's fun to watch. So again, the competition that Pete wanted, we're seeing it. The competition that Pete craved, it's extremely obvious because now his coaches are in the middle of it. And let me just say this real quick. On Saturday, 1 o'clock Pacific at Allegiant Stadium, the Raiders are hosting a mock game free to the public. Get out there. Get out there. Get out there. Go watch your Raiders. Go watch your Raiders. Get out there, experience them. It's totally free. Look at this stadium, watch your team. You'll have a blast. Thanks for joining me today, everybody. Bye-bye.